Hey, it's Dave. Let's say you're a guy like me and you find yourself in the kitchen this Valentine's Day and you don't know your whisk from your spatula. So you might be thinking, okay, what's easy to make? Well, Angie Bruss spoke with the Oklahoman's Cheryl Jones about an elegant-looking sweet that's easy to make.
Well, this is sort of a last minute. I call it My Funny Valentine, which is the name of a song, but it's also, I call it My Funny Valentine because these are palmiers, which is a French pastry, but ours are a little different. I discovered in the process of making the French palmiers, some of mine didn't turn out quite the same. What goes into it is some frozen puff pastry that you thought takes about 30 or 40 minutes just to sit out at room temperature, and just some sugar, just regular granulated sugar. And I'm using the seedless raspberry jam, and you could use strawberry or something else red for Valentine's. And then I like to use some turbinado sugar. This is, a lot of bakers like to use it. It's a coarse, natural sugar that is nice to decorate with. It adds a little extra sparkle. This is just egg beaten with about an egg yolk beaten with about a tablespoon of water. And this adds a little glistening effect to the outside of the palmiers, and it helps the sugar stick to it. Okay, first thing we want to do is pop our puff pastry out of the package, and I sort of already opened everything to save time. And when you get it, it's all sort of mushed together like this. And this is thawed, and so you see it's kind of a rubbery sheet, and you have to open it up. And that might seem a little tedious, but go ahead and open it. And you notice it has some little creases in it. I don't know if our camera can show that. But the way we get around that is we're going to use sugar to roll this out. And I'm going to take about a teaspoon and just sprinkle it on my countertop like this. And I'm going to lay this way and kind of mush it around. Same way here. Then I'll just take my rolling pin. And basically what I'm doing is just rolling out those creases. And I think about anyone can do that. It's very easy to do.
Oh.
And then I just turn it over. So we're in good shape here. Then the next thing we do, this is so easy, I can't tell you. I'm just going to take a couple of teaspoons, heaping teaspoons. We might call that a level tablespoon, maybe 2. And then we're going to take that, then I'm going to spread that all over the pastry, like this. Spread it out to the edges. You might need a little more, a little less. And you think of this as a scroll. We're just sort of making a little scroll. Sketches from ancient times with scrolls, and that's basically what we're doing here. And then I lay this over like this and kind of pinch that together. Okay, now if you look at it, you see a heart shape, and we're just going to wrap that up, and we'll pop this in our freezer for about 15 minutes. We have one ready, already chilled in the freezer. We're going to pull it out. One of the things I like to do, and this can get slightly messy, but you see it's firm and stiff now, and we've squeezed this together.
Now, how long did you keep it in the freezer?
Oh, 15 to 20 minutes is all it took. It depends on your freezer. And I like to, this is going to be the sides of the heart, so I like to go ahead and brush it with the egg yolk mixture, like this. Now, you could skip this altogether if you just are after the taste and you don't have to have them look pretty for a picture or something like that. I like to go ahead and put some of the sugar on the sides as well. It's just easier than getting a lot of extra sugar on the baking mat, so it makes the cleanup easy if you want to have more time for romance on Valentine's Day. Okay, so here is my heart. And I just lay it on the baking mat, and they just slice. And I'm slicing them, gosh, maybe a little over 1/4 inch thick. We'll just make a little row of them.
You make it look so easy. I know I'd mess it up.
You wouldn't mess it up at all. This is so easy, and it's fun to do, and this part is fun to do for little ones too. And the nice thing, it's easy cleanup. We're still working on the paper that we put in the freezer, and so that works just great. Another thing I like to do is kind of press down on these a little bit, and you know, they've been brushed with the egg wash, but they're I like to press down. Sometimes I twist the end. You don't have to. I'd like to add just a little more sugar on the top of each one because as it expands, and this just comes right off of the silicone mat, so they're kind of handy to have, but you don't have to have one. The parchment works, or you could butter a cookie sheet really well with real butter, and it would work. We just put them in the oven, a 400-degree oven, and you can be the judge of when you want to take them out. You can let them cook a little longer. Some people like to even turn them over as if they were a pancake about halfway through. But I'd say 10 to 12 minutes is plenty. Here's some that we baked earlier. Now, I call them my funny Valentines because they're, I stopped and answered the phone, and so my dough got soft on this side before. But these I cut out while the dough was still nice and cold. So if you get interrupted, you still have something fun to eat.